There you go. We're gonna do a very, very short presentation around, you know, the funding ecosystem in the arts. In many regards, the economy has evolved into, like mainly, there's people with the means of production. There's people who have companies and organizations, and then they hire other people, they pay them, but they are ultimately, kind of like making the most out of it. In the case of the arts and culture, the system stayed in the same state for many reasons. In the same state, even from times of the the Middle Ages to this day. The easiest way to be an artist is to have a sort of a benefactor, right? A patron that is going to support in your practice, and that will eventually allow you to live a dignified life. But of course, if you don't frequent those circles where the people with the money are, if you're not connected, it's going to be different. The first important thing that we need to understand is what is the ruling political ideology that we have right now. Since the 80s, we started working under this thing called Neo-Liberalism, correct? Neo-Liberalism is a political ideology that explains that private property and private enterprise is the best way to generate value and to generate and to be efficient, correct? So from that standpoint, our governments have been doing everything possible to outsource social services. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if you are a rich corporation, we're going to give you some tax cuts as long as you invest part of those taxes in education, in health, in culture and arts, right? Instead of charging you, I don't know, a percentage of your income to then invest in public health, in public education, we're gonna let you not pay that money as long as you somehow fund the arts and the culture, for example, right? This is given way to many different forms of corporations, nonprofits, all different sorts of institutions that are ultimately ruled by the same principle. And the principle is, when I have to pick in between two people, who is going to give me the best results, the most efficiency, right? Who is more aligned with my vision, with my goals, with my values, right? First important point here to note, you, unfortunately, we're going to have to, or not unfortunately, but definitely we're going to have to find ways in which we can measure the impact that our work has out in the world. Número uno, right? Número dos, it's important to understand that when people are in these grant panels, they're going to be seeing two different grants, right? And they're going to say, oh, you know what? These two people are trying to do photo exhibitions. How can I compare? How can I know which one of these proposals is more effective, right? Well, what are their measurements of success? How are they explaining, right, the impact that these projects have within their communities, and many more things that we're gonna look into it. The point that I'm trying to get to is this is a competitive process, right? And because it is competitive, they trick you in a very specific way. They tell you anyone can get this grant. We said anyone, not everyone, right? And they leave us here thinking that there is a sense of scarcity. Oh, there's not enough money to support us all, right? I have an important realization for you guys. The revolution is not going to be funded by a grant. The revolution is not going to be a 501c3. The consistent dismantling of these systems that we live under today is not going to happen through these efforts that we're doing right now. However, I see the role of arts and culture as the driver of ideas, as the driver in our times, as the driver, one of the very few drivers of hope. What would have people done during COVID, during the pandemic, during quarantine, if they didn't have the arts and culture, right? What else was there for us if it wasn't through this medicine that we're giving away to the world? So that is why we're really committed with this idea of empowering these voices, empowering, just figuring out ways to make things happen for all of us, right? And we understand that, you know, resource, even in these times when resources are scarce, we can all come together and make an amazing quinceañera if we all put a little bit of something on our part, right? So the government becomes a neoliberal state, starts cutting funding for all of these very basic social services, starts giving away big tax cuts. You know, these corporations like Hewlett-Packard start creating foundations, like Ford start creating foundations. Hey, you know, don't mind us. We're not just, you know, yes, maybe we are polluting the whole world. Yes, maybe we are, you know, taking all of the resources out of the land, but we're investing $2 million in the arts and culture, right? So we are supposed to thank them and be like, oh, thank you for your money. However, of course, there's still civil organized society that is still pushing to the government, pressing the government to get these social services taken care of. And then the government has created certain institutions. The National Endowment for the Arts, which is the biggest federal institution that is in charge of various different parts of cultural life in the United States. California Arts Council, which is part of what we're going to be doing, which is the organization that we're going to be applying with, and the San Francisco Arts Commission, to name just a few. Everybody here, I know that we have people from different parts of California in the space right now, and every one of you will have your local arts and cultural institution. Therese, do you want to say something?
There's just a few patches on your screen you might want to take a look at.
You know what these patches are? This is the video, everyone's faces. How about now? Is it better?
Gucci, yeah.
Yeah, I think as long as you keep your video on the bottom right, when you're switching, it won't block anything. All right.
Yes, actually, yeah, let's do that. I don't like feeling solito when I'm saying all of these things. Okay, so we understand that all of these organizations, this particular set of organizations right now, have been pushed heavily to invest in cultural equity, right? What does this mean? Every one of these organizations have this cultural equity statement. We support underserved communities, specifically people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, people with seen and unseen disabilities. You know, they will name, generally speaking, they will name the groups that are part of these specially represented groups, because then I guess social, you know, pressure finally made them aware, even if it's only on paper, that they have been funding the same folks over and over and over, right? This method of funding that they utilize to this day, this writing a grant, is a very exclusive thing. If you know, most artists who don't have the luxury of a space like this, you need to have, you know, certain expertise with writing, right, and grammar. If you are an immigrant whose first language is not English, forget about it. completely out of the question, right? If you don't have the resources, a computer, or the time, right, to write this grant, or the language to write this grant, it's also going to be very difficult to make this happen. So that is why we decided to jump in. So, oh no. It is important for me to tell you that these are not the only sources of funding, right? The government, the foundations are not the only sources of funding that we have in our toolbox. And it is important for us to really take a deeper look at that. How would it look like if we would consider ourselves creative entrepreneurs? I really appreciate that we have a couple of creative entrepreneurs with us today. And you know, that what that creates is just a sense of possibility in many ways, right? Okay, this is not working. How can I make it? So how can I make it so that I can, you know, create something that I could promote, sell, and make a living out of, right? How can I really commercialize my craft and my practice, simply so that I can live a dignified life? No effort, no dismantling effort is radical if it's not sustainable. Let me say it again. No social or political effort is radical if it's not sustainable. So I understand that we are here to make our practice sustainable so that it can go on to really do what it needs to do in our communities, in our society, in all of these spaces. You will have prize funds, grants, fellowships, residencies, right? We had a very interesting experience last year. For this same grant, we applied with one of my mentors, we applied for a legacy fellowship. He's been working in San Francisco since the 60s as a laureate poet of San Francisco, really important person. We did all of this paperwork. We gathered all of these documents. He applied for the grant. 1,000 people applied for that grant last year. Close to 1,000, 967 people. And he got in the final, he got in the final tier. He was 8 points away from receiving the funding, right? So we're like, okay. It means that one paragraph, you know, one page of the application was off by a little bit, and he was unable to get it. Of course, when you have 1,000 people applying for this thing, it's going to be difficult. But it doesn't mean that this same project, complete project, couldn't have gone directly to, you know, the Mexican embassy, the Mexican consulate. This is contextual because he's a Chicano poet, and his project was a collection of postcards made by the father of Frida Kahlo. And so who is to say that one of these other institutions were not going to be able to support it? Particularly commercial funds, for example. Sponsorships are very, very, very useful and very easy, relatively easy to get. As long as you can prove to the brand that their association with what you're doing is ultimately going to make a difference in their bottom line, right? There's another ways to fund, like community funds, crowdfunding programs. Perhaps you might have experience with this. Does anybody here have experience with crowdfunding? Indiegogo, GoFundMe?
I do.
What's been your experience with that, T?
So we funded my graphic novel last year on Kickstarter. And a part of it was not only for the purpose of getting a graphic novel done, but also making sure that the graphic novel's message was clear on our intention, not just to like fund an entertainment piece. It was to document the story with infusions of folklore for the person that we were depicting from Central America. Mm-hmm. And it was a very difficult endeavor and challenging in the sense, not difficult as in like hard, like intolerable, but more of it requires a lot of focus and attention to writing and what narrative you are selling to your audience. And part of that writing in that language is important because you have to create something that's not only appealing to people who potentially would donate, but people who want to hear the story of your project as a means to potentially fund it. But that story behind it is sometimes more important than the actual project itself. And yet we also have to think really hard about who's our audience and how do we also communicate this for people who might be outside of our demographic who enjoy comics but perhaps are not familiar with, Nicaraguan culture.
Yeah.
Can I ask who was just speaking? I can't see who that was.
Oh, it's me too. Sorry, Dustin. My camera's off.
Dustin. That's exactly right. It's a matter of telling a story, right? It's a matter of creating a narrative that will have people rooting for you and getting invested in it, right? Tonga?
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to add on, we are currently running a campaign using GoFundMe, and what I've learned as the lead on communications is that GoFundMe is a small part of the messaging and the story, and although it can function as a way to donate and collect funds that people want to support whatever cause that you are campaigning for, it's just one feature and one function of the entire scope of work.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Yeah, it basically just means that there are many doors to knock. In 2019, I had the gift, really the opportunity to start a festival, La Diaspora Festival, and we gathered $20,000 through grants, sponsorships, individual donations, and fundraising events. And all together we just went to Mexico. We created an amazing festival, but it was really a matter of not being subject to, if I don't get the grant, it's not gonna happen, right? We have so much more in our arsenal to make things happen. Okay, the last one is sales, of course, right? And that is a particularly tricky one because generally speaking, if you're a musician, okay, I guess you record something and then you sell that, right? But it's not as simple as that. It's all the work that goes into making the thing. It's all the work that goes into producing the final product. But it is true that if we get a little bit creative, we can make magic happen. Sylvie, would you like to share with us a little bit of how is that you go to all of these events and how you practice your crafting or your practice in there?
Sure. I was actually going to raise my hand and talk a little bit about how in the last 3 years, one of the ways that, let me say first, I am a typewriter poet. I set up my typewriter at events and I write poems for people on the spot, which is the main thing that I do for income. But I also create poetry art pieces and poetry installations that all involve the typewriter and one-on-one exchange with people about a particular topic or question. And I've been doing that for 13 years now in San Francisco. And yeah, so Patreon has actually been a pretty incredible source of funding my life, basically, and not just my art, which I think it's been an important reminder that life and art are not always separate, but they're pretty inextricably linked, and that there is actually value in thinking about your work and yourself in that way. My work is incredibly intimate in the one-on-one-ness of how I interact with people, but also what my work aims for, which is just to create a space where people can be seen and heard. And so for me, there's real power in having people that, I might have met 14 years ago who've been following me somehow all this time, and then are like, here's $5 a month or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what exactly you wanted me to say, Arturo, but happy to answer anything else.
This is pretty much it. It's just really about breaking the mold of what you consider that is possible, right?
Yeah.
Part of what we asked you and that we're going to be asking you in the upcoming weeks is to really dive deep into what are other people who are getting funded doing to get this funding, and who is funding them, right? Because we're going to create a network of possibilities ahead of us. Not only, again, we're gonna do our best effort with the grant, and we're gonna write a killing grant. I'm pretty sure of that. But we're gonna give you so much more. We're really invested in having that be just the excuse of gathering together here. Yeah, as you heard, part of this is really seeing potential in the communities, in our communities, understanding that there is a history of challenges that we've been facing, and then that through compassion, through community, through collaboration, we can go so much farther than where we currently are. So that is just the first thing that we're gonna say about the funding ecosystem. And right now, well, does anybody want to have I have time for 2 comments? Does anybody wants to say anything that had come up to for you to about this whole section? Anything that was strong, felt strong in your heart? No need, but okay, we're gonna move on to our next activity. Nefertiti, you wanna say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna maybe we can bookmark it for later or put it in the bike rack, instead of the parking lot. The point about, you made a point about the consulate of Mexico, but I think it's important for us to also honestly think about the way other countries actually rethink funding arts and culture, and how that's also another realm of possibility if we're thinking about other funding sources. I just got a grant to do a performance installation with the Goethe Institute. The Goethe is German, and I've worked with them in Brazil. They're pretty amazing in terms of willingness to fund. And so when you mentioned the consulate, just thinking a lot about our work too, its possibilities beyond here. And sometimes we don't realize that there's other countries that are willing to fund and are more accessible to fund our work than a lot of the US-based institutions.
True, totally. Tonga, you have something?
Yeah, just with the work that I am currently doing around the Tonga tsunami relief. I don't know if y'all have seen, but we've got a plane to send emergency supplies to Tonga. And Arturo, you were on that call when I found out the day of, when I was still in Dayton, Ohio. But since then, we have been meeting with all of these amazing people who are part of big corporations, and their desire is really to partner with grassroots. The organization that I'm with is as grassroots as they come. And really the conversations have been, how can we support and uplift artists that are aligned with the work that they are interested in supporting. And so to what you were saying, I think it was Nefertiti who was speaking before me, but absolutely just imagining beyond the traditional channels that we normally tend to plug into. So I just wanted to uplift that.
Absolutely. No, and I think that really this is part of what we want to bring about in the space, right? Hey, I've heard about this, I've heard about that. Here is this resource, here is this organization. I don't know everything. I don't know I don't know a percentage of all the organizations, all the ideas, all the wisdom really that we have gathered in our practices. Really, we want this to be a space where we can raise our hand, contribute to each other. You know, who knows? Maybe someone here has $1 million idea that you're gonna make flourish, and then there is $1 million, right? For example, and there's possibility for collaboration. That's the main thing that we really want to you know, see this as a space where collaboration is a possibility. All right, so we're gonna go to the next thing, and I'm gonna ask you to turn on your cameras for this one because you're going to be waving to your support buddy. Are you excited? I'm pretty excited. You know, as we had been telling you, hey Diana, what's up? as we told you during your interview time, big part of keeping ourselves moving forward with clarity, particularly in the day-to-day, it is going to be impossible for Therese and myself as your coaches to be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know, to 6 people every day. But that is why we are inviting you to take this tool that we're giving you, setting the arena, and we're going to be pairing you up with a support person, support buddy, that you're going to be calling every day or every other day, however, as many times as you want. In my personal experience, I had a support buddy for when I took this training in this framework. I stayed in connection with my support buddy for the first 3 to 4 months after the training was over, and really was a transformative process because every day I knew what was the thing that I had to do. Every day I knew what was the focal point of my day, because every morning I would talk to this person and be like, oh, today I'm going to focus on, you know, taxes, grants, whatever. And I just went and did it, right? So how do we make this more exciting? There you go. Therese, do you have your whistle with you? There you go. Okay. Woo. Okay, so I need you to bring some energy into the screen. Bring some energy into the screen. We're gonna make it happen. This is also almost like the sorting hats. So the first one that we have.
You're welcome.
You got it? You got it? Okay, the first person, the first support buddies that we have up is Maricel and Dustin T. Say hello, wave to your support buddy. Hey, what's up? The next one that we have in the space is Diana and Jesse. Diana and Jesse, say hello. The next one. Hello. The next one is Sylvie, and Sylvie is going to be the support buddy of Nefertiti. Say hello. Hey, what's up? Coming up, we have Vince. Vince is going to be the support buddy of Radu. Wave hello. Hey, what's up? We're going to have, as you can count, there's 13 people in the space now. By the way, welcome, Alethea. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we're gonna have a pairing of 3 people. We're gonna let you know how that works. And in this case, we're gonna have a pairing of 3 people, which are going to be Tonga. Hey, Tonga. And also Alejandra. And also Joe. Hey, we're hello. We're hello. And finally, our newcomer, Alethea, is going to be paired up with Bisma. Hello. What's up?
Hey.
So, so what does that mean? Well, it means that we're going to give you some time, not right now, but in a little bit. We're going to give you time to go check in with each other, you know, just get to connect for the first time. And we're going to ask you to just get clarity around the times that you guys are going to be reaching out to each other. We paired you up based on 3 things. Number 1, the times that you were available. Number 2, the practices, the projects, the visions that you're bringing into this world. Number 3, just your overall vibe and energy. We've had really, really, really good experiences with support bodies that have gone on to develop projects and things. So we believe that these people are going to be medicine for your life. So I hope that you guys have a good time with this. In the meantime, we're going to give you the floor because we want to get to know you, right? So you guys are going to have 2 minutes to introduce yourself, okay? Your name, your pronouns, your practice, and what would you like to contribute to this space? Okay, so again, your name, your pronouns, your practice, and what is something that you would like to contribute to this group of heroes that you're seeing right now. I am super happy to lead who's going to be speaking and who's going to be speaking next, but I would love if anyone would like to volunteer for the first person.
I'll go.
Órale, excellent.
All right, 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, my name is Alethea Elwood. That's one of my names, but people also call me Venus Veritas. I go by she, and my practice is I'm a hand poke manifestation tattoo artist. And besides that, I'm a painter and a singer-songwriter, and basically anything creative that you can wrap your hands. If I can put my hands in it and get creative, I'm in it. I'm a quadruple Aries. If you're not already into zodiac signs, let me know. I will break your chart down for you. What else? People always call me a life coach, and a lot of people call me mom for some reason. So that's me in a nutshell. There you go.
What is something that you would like to contribute to this cohort, to this group?
I think just like loving energy, and I would love to contribute anything that I know about within the art world that I've been in so far. Also, I just got back from the Philippines. For the last 10 years, I was living there. So culturally, I'm still going through culture shock. And in a way, that's also a contribution because it's an experience that not everybody gets to experience the way that I'm experiencing it right now. So I can contribute that as well. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My new best friend. Yes. All right. Next up, Jesse. Are you ready?
Hello. There we go. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Jesse Osorio. I've also been known as DJ Casanova out here in the Bay Area. My pronouns, him, he, el, whatever's comfortable. I'm cool with all the pronoun stuff. Born and raised out here in San Francisco. I've done a lot of things. Work-wise, I've done a lot of youth development work, mostly in Bayview Hunters Point for almost about 2 decades now. And then I transitioned off, and actually now I'm actually doing state work with excuse me, I'm like getting airbrain right now, but with California State Parks as a maintenance worker. So I do a lot of carpentry, electrical, plumbing, a lot of stuff, mostly outdoors, but also outdoor education, just to try to get people outdoors to visit Candlestick, to re-engage the southeast side of San Francisco in a whole new way. I know it's been like really dormant, and especially during the pandemic, it's been really, really dormant. So my role now is to really kind of revive that area through outdoor education. And, you know, I going back before that, again, I used to do a lot of youth development work. I still work with a lot of young people now that I've been working with for the past 20 years that now have families or are now exiting high school and going into college. And just, you know, I still stay in a lot of communication with them. Other things that I've done in the past, I also do massage therapy as well. But what I want to offer to the space, man, I just want to be able to offer some good vibes, some good energy, some good experience in San Francisco, and just bring whatever knowledge that I have, and just also bring humility to the group as well too. I want to have a good time and be able to learn a lot from you guys. So thank you for offering me this space to be with you all, and I'm happy to grow with y'all.
Thank you, Jesse. Such bright energy.
Thank you.
Who do we have next? T, would you like to go?
Sure. Hi, I'm T, aka Dustin Garcia. I'm an entrepreneur, artist, activist, and radical educator. I primarily focus on comics and comics and storytelling through that medium. That's my main thing I like to teach, but I also practice music. And my pronouns are, pronouns are not really important to me, although I identify as non-binary, but I go by he, him, and they. And what I'd love to contribute to this space is just my ability to use my skill of observing and listening, and helping to take anything that I hear and help bring some execution, vision, and practicality to whatever everyone here might perhaps struggling with or trying to figure out or unravel. That's kind of where I shine in that area. And I'm also a really great cheerleader, encourager, and inspirer. So if anyone needs like any pep talk, I got you. Like, I'm so good at that. And I just also looking forward to just seeing how everyone here grows and it develops their voice and their vision and clarity in this space. So it's also an honor to be here with everybody, and I'm just excited to look forward to see how things go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Who goes next? Nefertiti, would you like to go?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Nefertiti. I go by she, her. And my art practice. So my starting place is the body. And from there, things kind of go in different directions. I use movement, vocalization. I compose from a place of the body. So I don't necessarily compose music from writing music composition on the sheets. I can't even think of the words anymore. I did study music theory, but I compose from a place of the body. I'm a percussionist, and I move in different spaces, you know, mostly contemporary performance work, really looking to sort of connect with people in a vibrational place of the body. I'm from San Mateo County, San Mateo, born and raised. My parents are from Guatemala. But I've been living in Salvador Bahia for the last 9 years. So I just moved back and I feel super like still trying to find my place. Like I always feel out of place when I really feel like disconnected. So I'm just looking forward to make new connections, to hear about everybody's practice. I'm such an arts nerd. Like I just get so excited hearing about how people, you know, everyone's different processes for creation, for collaboration. Yeah, I consider myself a more transdisciplinary artist. And what I'm planning and willing to bring to this space is also encouragement. I feel like this last 2 years, everybody still needs encouragement in any and every way. And it's okay that we still need it to like feel like, you know, we have a place in the world. So I'm going to keep being a cheerleader too. And resources. I love when I find out that there's a resource to share. So like I just brought up that German cultural agency. I'm going to put the website in here for everyone to check out because Germans be funding art a lot. So everyone should
Actually,
access.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited and good to meet everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, perfect. So see, that's that's what tells me that 2 minutes went by. So perfect. Yep. Next up, we will welcome Alejandra. You ready?
Hello everyone. Yeah, my name is Alejandra and I am a printmaker primarily, and a social advocate and cultural curator, which is a term that I'm like trying to get comfortable with. I also paint, draw, also just all around really creative. The project that I've been working on as of recently is I've been working on like love letters. I also have a typewriter like Sylvie, and it's been a lot of fun to just kind of like write love letters that way. And I've been trying to just kind of connect more with the community here in San Francisco, especially the art community, trying to create more spaces to display work. Oh, my pronouns are she, her. And then something that I'm willing to contribute. I'm a great listener. I will hear you out. I don't really judge people for what they're saying. I like to give advice when it's asked. So you could always ask for advice. I also think I'm a really creative, like if you need a creative solution, I got you. Good at brainstorming ideas and like bouncing them off. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Such compassion. That's the definition of compassion, is to welcome people as they are without our own agenda, correct? Thank you. Thank you, Ale. Maricel.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maricel. And if you can't say that, Marisel is cool too. My pronouns are she, her, and my practice is music. I went to Mills College for percussion, so that's like my strong suit is percussion. I'm a drummer first, for sure, like on the trap drum set, and I'm actually going on tour next month for like a week and a half on the drums, so I'm super excited about that. But I also, my real job is like sound healing and sound therapy, so I play like the crystal bowls, I play Tibetan bowls, and I have like gongs and stuff. Yeah, and I also like play guitar, and I also play a little piano, but like most of all, I just love like coordinating people and community to come together to like play music and do music and like offer sound healing and sound therapy. I'm a very like public person. Like I love, like without being egotistic, I love being like a leader in that and bringing people together and like having people have a great time meeting each other and playing music, or just like coming in for like a sound bath or something. Yeah, and I'm like Salvadorian. I was born in San Francisco, but I was raised in Austin, so I was exposed to a lot of like rock and roll music, and like, yeah, the band I'm in is like psychedelic rock and roll. The guy, the singer, the main guy, he looks like Jimi Hendrix and sounds like him. So super honored about that. Yeah, he's really cool.
Talk about your black eye. Talk about your black eye.
So I got I got a black eye because I got a concussion I don't feel proud saying it. I feel so stupid. But I also skateboard, and I went on a skate road trip with some girlies last week, and I got hurt. I wasn't wearing a helmet. I was being an idiot, and like got this black eye, and like it's just so fun. It's so funny. I always forget I have it until I look in the mirror. But I skateboard too. I do like skateboard photography also. But anyways, I would like to offer into this group, like, I'm a huge visionary. I have too many ideas. Like, if you feel stuck about an idea, or you don't feel like you don't know where to go with some type of idea, like, come to me, because I will probably have a trillion ideas about it. Like, actually, it's one of my jobs is I'm like he doesn't know what to call it, but I'm like, just call me visionary. Like, I have all these ideas for him and stuff, and I get paid for it, so I love it. And also like empowerment. For some reason, when people need empowerment, I just like get sassy about it. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You can't do that. Or like, what the hell, like, so, and I also like meditation and yoga and, sound healing stuff. So like, if you need to like relax, or if you need to calm down, I can like guide you in that for sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Sorry about asking you about the eye. I thought it was, I think it's so badass.
I'm glad you did, because like I hate when I'm talking to people and they're not asking about it, and I'm like, I don't want them to assume I'm like this reckless, like
that something bad happened.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go with Radu.
Sorry, I'm technologically challenged a little bit. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Radu. My pronouns are he and him. Let's see. I am primarily a musician, but I'm also a guitar player. But I'm also a teacher. I teach little kiddies around the city, teach music and get them exposed to music really early. And I just share my love for music and kids with these kids and have a good time. I've also, like a lot of people here, I kind of have a lot of interests that span across art and healing. So I was a Reiki practitioner for a little while. And what else did I do? I was a feng shui coach for a little while. And I have a vast circle of friends that are into the healing arts, and I love spending time with them and kind of nerding out in that area and getting into healing the body and the mind and feeling good. And but yeah, I'm primarily a songwriter, guitar player, becoming a better vocalist. What else?
What you like to contribute to the group?
Oh man, I'm so blown away by this group. I don't even know. Way more than I expected. I don't know. I want to be a listening for people. So I think I'm a good listener. Like a few people have said, I like to come up with creative solutions for things. So I would love to help in that regard. If anyone feels like they whatever, would like to come to me for that. I'm huge into collaborating, mostly because I think you can get a lot more done when you're doing it with people that you vibe with and share a vision with, care about, things like that. So I'm huge into collaborating. I think what else? I think that's about it. Was that my 2 minutes, Mo?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Did you have anything else?
No, just what's up, Vince? We know each other through the music community.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did a gig during COVID, because COVID was kind of crazy, I think, for musicians. It was either like all out, either people were working nonstop or weren't working at all. And I was fortunate enough to get some work. And Vince and I did a really cool gig in the Mission outside. playing for people at Paula's empanada shop. Just
nice. See, that's what I'm telling you. It's vibes. We knew it, and it's here. What's up? We have collaborated in the past.
So
perfect.
Good to meet everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Radu. We're gonna go follow up with Bisma.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bisma. I go by they, them pronouns. I'd say that my main craft is that I'm an Ayurveda herbalist. So the way that I describe it is I kind of just work with plants, seeds, and oils at all stages of their life. And and kind of make soaps, candles, incense. I also paint and embroider, and I'm getting into sewing my own clothes right now as well. I also work as a digital organizer for a nonprofit called Senior and Disability Action, where I basically teach seniors and people with disabilities how to use the internet from like its way basics to like making social media accounts and stuff like that. And I really believe that education is the path to liberation. And so I try to make all my knowledge, all the cultural knowledge I hold as public as possible. I also am part of an initiative called the California Healers Network, who think about how to skillfully weave in abolition and healing. And I believe that disability justice in many ways is that crossroads, because it gets you to think about the world in a way that's very inclusive of everybody's needs. And so, yeah, I'm kind of all over the charts when it comes to like organizing and activism, but I do believe mutual aid, abolition, and all those things are in my wheelhouse as a healer, and I want my plant medicine to support those in the front lines first. And so, yeah, that's a little bit about me. And what I'd like to contribute to the space is similar to what other folks named, is I love vision building. I love talking about access and thinking about disability first as opposed to an accommodation. And so if you wanted to talk about what access looks like for your event, I'm more than happy to do that with you, as well as just sharing resources that I come across. One of my love languages is just like dumping links onto people based on like things they tell me. And then I'm just like on Instagram and all the social media is just digging everything up for you. But yeah, and I can also just share events to my network and send it to people that I think would be good fits for collaboration as well. But yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Bisma. Thank you so much. Wee, powerful fire in this group. Sylvie, would you like to go next?
I am Sylvie, and as I said before, she, her. As I said before, I write poems on a typewriter at events. I also make mixed media art. Over the years, I have done drawing and painting, some hand embroidery incorporated in my work. And these days, I've actually been really interested in just using the written word as the aesthetic, and keeping things very simple. I also, I love hearing everybody talk about how much healing is part of their work. It's something that I've been doing kind of in secret the whole time. And I am at a point where I am vocalizing and inviting that into my work in a much clearer way. Not just writing as a way of healing, but also inviting people into spaces to be seen and heard, to say the things that aren't normally said, to look inward as a way of being connected with what's around you outward. And I feel very strongly these days in pandemic times that resting is a radical act, especially in a capitalist system, especially as artists who are not valued. And so these things are, I don't know exactly how yet, but that's like the ethos of what I'm after. I also, I do some teaching and some speaking, and people always call it performance, but I'm like, I don't perform myself when I'm reading my poems. So for me, it's more reading my work in public spaces. And what I bring to this group, I have been known to be a mirror, reflecting people back at themselves. It's what all of my work is about as a poet. I'm also often the wrong person to talk to about things, because I don't really give a fuck about a lot of things that other people might give a fuck about, like, you know, standard ways of being in the world and how you make money. And I really believe that, like, oftentimes the impossible is really possible, and I will encourage you to do those things. I also have writing skills, so I'm happy to look at a sentence, look at a paragraph, help you out with that. It's fun for me. And I also bring a lot of passion, and I will do my best to show up in a way that encourages your energy, your fire, your passion, and reflecting that back at you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Sylvie. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Oh my God. Okay. I'm just like seeing you all, guys, and I'm feeling so much love right now. Joe.
Hey everyone, my name is Joseph Colmenares. I go by Joe, and my pronouns are he, him. Let me see, my practice is visual art practice. I'm also an instructor, an entrepreneur, and something I'd like to contribute to this cohort is just mainly positivity and a lot of energy and excitement.
Thank you. What is your project? What is the project that you're envisioning to get support?
Well, for our project, we just acquired a 3,500 square foot warehouse in which we want to raise funds where we can teach young people from the community how to draw, how to paint, how to create murals. And then once they learn how to do that, they can then learn how to make it digital. So bring it on a computer with Photoshop, Illustrator, Canva. Once they've gone digital, they can make anything they want. Apparel, they can make hats, they can make stickers, business cards, flyers, posters, banners. And so ultimately, we want to also teach the young people how to become entrepreneurs. And another thing is screen printing. Once they learn how to make their art and their design, once they get it to digital and they can create business cards and flyers, they can also print and learn how to print on clothing, on sweater, on hats, even skateboards, all in one shop. And then if they want to become entrepreneurs with one or all of these skills, then we want to teach them how to become entrepreneurs, and just how we built our warehouse and built our craft. They can also cookie cutter. We want to teach them the format. This just plug and play, just how we're doing with this cohort. We want to teach the young people how to do that as well. So that's our project in a nutshell.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Vince.
Hey, everybody. This is really so inspiring to hear everybody talk about what they're doing in the world. Y'all are a bunch of badasses. My name is Vincent Dejesus. I go by Vince, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a musician. I am a multi-percussionist. Shout out to all the percussionists in the house.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah. Yeah, I am also a teaching artist. And I not only teach music, but I also teach digital arts and a little bit of creative coding. And my particular focus for this grant, though, is for a recording project that I've been working on for the last 2 years, and trying to secure funds to continue to mix it, master it, and add additional tracks, pay for studio time and collaborations with friends. What else? What do I want to contribute? I want to contribute, like a lot of you have said, love, positivity, resources, I want to contribute, my own unique perspective. I've done a lot of weird things in the world, and I feel like I have a unique perspective. So I'd love to share that. And I love to cook too. I cook a lot of Puerto Rican food and a lot of Mexican food. So if anybody's looking for some recipes, I got you.
That sounds amazing.
I'm definitely looking to eat.
We're gonna get you up for that. Yes, thank you, Vince. By the way, everybody, if you hear anything that strikes you like, oh, that was beautiful, write it in the chat. Generally, we try to kind of like bring notes and share this part of these texts in our post game emails. We try to gather some of this collective knowledge to share with you. So if at any point you hear anything that is like, oh, that's inspiring, or that's true, that's very true, or that resonates with me, just type it in the chat, and we're gonna make a collection of thoughts. Okay, so we're almost there. Miss Tonga, you in the house?
Yep, I'm here. I'm gonna keep it brief because this 1-year-old is really like rolling my world right now. So yes, my name is Tonga Victoria Fakalata. My married name is Afat Mango. She, her. My parents are from Tonga, Babaon Hapay, which are 2 of the island groups in Tonga. I'm from California, East Palo Alto, to be specific. Let's see, my practice. Well, when I started, like when I met with Arturo and Therese, the practice was book publishing. I published my own book last year called Hyphen American, and then I am currently in school to become a literary agent at UCLA, and just all of these great things that I was doing in my little dungeon in Dayton, Ohio. And there was so much focus there. And then obviously the events of January 15th happened, which brought me back home to East Palo Alto. And really the subject and the matter and the issue of climate change and mental wellness, I found myself fully immersed and really allowing myself to learn more, to become passionate about these 2 issues, more passionate than I was prior to what happened in January 15th. And I think the biggest thing that I'm learning about myself is how cultural competency is really at the root of what I want to do with my book, or my book publishing agency, whatever you want to call it. And I really want to honor that during this time. And using cultural competency, perhaps it may not be a practice, but thinking creatively on how to make it something more practical that I can then use to apply for this grant. So yeah, that's what I want to challenge myself, and just be courageous and thinking beyond. And I love in the setting the arena to really dismantle the structures of knowing. Like that was just so beautiful, and I love that so much. And so I think all that to say, I want to contribute to your abundance. Because what I've learned just every day is how challenging it is to receive abundance. It's one thing to say, I believe in abundance and accepting it, but to actually receive it, I think that's where imposter syndrome comes in. That's where doubt, that's where worthlessness comes in. And these are all things that I've been experiencing within the past couple of weeks with everything that's been happening. So I want to stand shoulder to shoulder with each of you, all of us, and really stand in abundance with everybody. So yes, and that's it.
Thank you so much. Totally right. Scarcity mentality is a made up mentality. It's a made up idea to keep us hustling, right? We got this, guys. And last but not least, my dear friend, Diana, please.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Hi, everybody. My name is Diana. If it's easier for some people, I also go by Diana. but my Latin name is Diana. I am born and raised in Nicaragua. I'm also an immigrant. I've been in this country. What? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, I'm Nicaraguan too. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. I heard you that you.
Hey, Nica Power.
Hey, Nica en la casa. So yeah, I was born and raised in Nicaragua, so I'm very Nicaraguan. I'm not just from there, but I was also born and raised there. I practice my culture on a daily basis. So I speak my culture. I love in my culture. I walk and move through my culture, through also my native language, which is Spanish, and I survive in English, pretty much. I'm a dancer, performing artist, teaching artist. I do music productions, collaborations, dance productions, video productions, and I also direct my own Nicaraguan performance group. What I am willing to collaborate and bring to this and share is pretty much my culture, my struggles, my weaknesses, because it's through that I have learned that others can learn too, how to move forward and push forward through things. It's like by seeing how the others fall and get up, is that I have also learned how to fall and get up and know how to do that. So I am willing to bring and collab and contribute all of that with y'all and learn from each one of you and be open-minded. I think that's it. Thank you.
Perfect. Right on time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. What do you think?
Amazing. I have the breakout room set up ready, and when they get into the breakout rooms, we can drop the instructions in the chat. We can send them a message in breakout rooms.
Okay. So guys, you're gonna have 10 minutes to go. Connect with your support buddies. The only one thing that we ask you is that, and we'll send you the instructions, that you gather the times and days where you and your phone numbers and each other's phone numbers, so you can call each other and set the arena together. Okay? Beautiful. These are the instructions right here in the chat, and we're gonna share it in the
broadcast.
In the breakout rooms. Okay.
All right. So should I? Here we go.
Let's just do it. Oh, where's your support buddy? Let me. Bisma is not going anywhere for right now, but
I got Bisma.
Okay. Cool. Perfect.
Diana is with who?
Diana is with Jesse.
Yes, I'm with Jesse.
Okay, it's room 3. All right, I just sent her. Okay, the rooms will slowly start to bounce.
All right.
Okay, what happened to?
Okay.
All right, welcome back, folks. So right now we're looking at the artist presentation dates, and we're going to also be sending this out with detailed instructions. And just to give you a little bit of a context, tonight when we had our 2 minutes to get a sense of what people are here to contribute, each week, 2 or 3 artists will be doing artist presentations, talking about their art, what the current projects are, and what they would like to contribute, and what they'd like to contribute to the space. So basically, Arturo, if you want to just drop the link to the instructions into the chat, that would be great.
Mhm.
And so when you do your presentations, you're going to include your practice, your current projects, how we can support you, and something that you're happy to contribute. You've done that tonight, but you're going to have another opportunity to do it because, you know, contributions and how we can support you are going to, you know, evolve over the time that we have together. So again, you're going to get a copy of the schedule, mark your calendars, and if you have any questions about the process, you know, myself or Arturo will be more than happy to support you in working on your presentation. So Arturo, if you would be so kind as to go to the introducing the summary exercise, that would be great.
Oh, it's past this, right?
Yeah.
Haha, way past it. Okay, hold on. Give me just a second. Okay.
I'm on two different devices because I'm having opportunities with my computer that involve me moving in slow motion. So if you could move to yeah, there we go. Ding 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 ding. Okay. And then at the bottom, if you could just move that down a little teensy weensy bit. Perfect. So in your pre-work, you were given an opportunity to just kind of get the party started on writing about what you're going to be up to. And each week, we are going to just be creating ease and dismantling any structures that you may have around why you can't write a grant. We're going to make it so supportive by giving you, these awesome prompts and pointers that are going to support you in writing your grant. We're also going to give you some prompts. There's going to be another document that you're going to get. Arturo, if you want to drop that one in the chat, that basically will give you 3 different examples of projects. One that's for collaboration. So like the first example is a collaboration that Andreina did with some women day labor workers, and it involves a dance performance. And then the second one involves a community space creation, and that is from someone that I had the opportunity to coach, Mabel. And in her project, she essentially engaged the community, and there were takeaways. We have a sample of that in the chat. I'm not sure what happened to the slides, but I'm sure they'll be back.
Yes, I'm opening the document.
Okay. Anyway, so can I get my slide back?
Almost there.
Do we get these slides?
Yeah, you'll get a PDF of the slides. You'll definitely get a PDF of the slides, and you'll get links to the sample documents that we're putting in the chat. It's just if you're one of those birds who likes to grab the link and hold on to it before the worm gets sent to everybody, you have the opportunity to just grab it and look at it in advance. So as I was saying, the second sample that you'll see in that document is one for community space creation. So in Mabel's project, she essentially is doing an exhibition where she's inviting the community to come and look at a photo exhibit, and then there's some takeaways, which is a book. And in the next few weeks, myself and lots of our artists from the cohort are going to be getting judged by panels for our work. And Arturo, what happened?
I'm just showcasing the examples that you're talking about.
Okay, I was expecting the other screen.
Here.
Okay, so the community, there's another example that has like a community event with engagement. And we give you some ideas of what you would want to include in your summary. So we're going to stay on the screen for a minute. I'm going to just talk a little bit about it. So when you're looking at a collaboration with like, say, like a Bayview Boys and Girls Club, and this is kind of universal for any kind of project summary that you're writing, you want to make sure that you're including, who the funds are going to support, a project description, the community that's going to be benefiting from your project, what the goals are of your project, where it'll happen, and what's your commitment, and what the funding will cover. And then if you're looking at doing something in a space, you're going to look at, what the funds are going to support, similar things. The big difference is going to be like, what are the takeaways going to be? So in Mabel's case, I don't believe she has it so much outlined in her description. She is planning on doing an open event at Mission Culture Center where she displays her book that she made of different people in the community. It's a photo journalism book, different photos that she took during COVID and post-COVID, and she's going to have various community organizations tabling at that event. The third one that's an example of a community event with engagement is actually my personal project from not this last grant cycle, but the grant cycle for 2020, where I was pitching that I do a project where we're bringing community together, where they actually have an opportunity to meet the artist and have dinner with the artist. And in that particular example, I give you some pointers, like if you're going to do that method, you might want to include, what the project's going to fund, the description, and then the planning and the curating behind it, the project or the event, why this project, and an opportunity, and why is it an opportunity and a purpose. So those are just kind of some pointers, and you'll be going into more detail with your coach, and it's also going to lead into what we're going to cover for homework. So we kind of moved stuff around a little bit because of time, but I wanted to make sure you got this information. Does anybody have any questions about this particular topic of things that you want to cover during your project summary? You can put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand.
I just want to say this is amazing right here, and this is an excellent resource right here, and thank you for this.
One time, two times, you're welcome. That's our goal, and the feedback is really helpful, y'all. So can anybody drop in the chat any other things that you might want to have in your, if you could leave that up, Arturo, that would be great.
Yeah, okay.
Can anybody just take a look at that list and think of like your own project? What would be some other things that you might want to include in your project summary? And Arturo, you can drop some samples in the chat too if you'd like to get the party started. Like what other things would you include? Maybe in some of your projects, what have you included in your summary?
Okay.
So while y'all are thinking about that, I kind of started mentioning that some of our artists are going to start getting their panel reviews from the San Francisco Arts Commission, and we'll be putting kind of like some announcements about that kind of thing in the Google Classroom that we're going to be setting up. So you'll be able to get a chance to go and just look and see what it looks like to have the panel reviewing a grant. And a lot of times they're just saying, I wasn't clear of like how they were going to do this based on their resume, or this project looks like they can totally pull it off. I think it's a dope project. So it just gives you an opportunity to get a sense of like what the panels are saying about the grants. Full disclosure, they're not always legit. Some of their feedback is kind of not necessarily from a lens of like they want to fund it. They're just like trying to find a way to like poke a hole in it. I don't know why people would do that, but they do. So keep that in mind. So there's some great things coming up in the chat. Arturo's got including the community that he's serving, the need and the void you might be filling in a community space-based community or space, and the final product that I'm making, i.e. a photo exhibit, an 8-track, an EP, and those are all good things. So you're going to get lots of information, and just take in little bits and pieces as you can. You can always come back. The outcome of your show might also be, the outcome of your project might be a performance, but just take all these little nuggets, and you're going to have access to the recordings. You're going to have access to the slides. We're going to have a library of all the content that we're giving you. And you also have your coaching session. So, you know, if you're feeling a little bit like this is a lot, just take a deep breath and know that, you know, it's all information, and you're gonna do an amazing job writing the grant that you were meant to write, and you're gonna do a great job working on your project summary. It's just getting the muscles moving. Any questions before we move on?
How long that summary should be? Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, you know, is it like a 15-second pitch, or like a 5-second pitch, or like how, that's what I'm trying to figure out as well. So when you're asking for like summaries, because you're going to be going out to people and engaging and you're going to be presenting your goal and what you're trying to do. And so I'm trying to figure out, like, I guess, the challenge is figuring out that quick pitch that you could sell it, and I'm just trying to position that piece.
That's a great question. What I recommend that you do is you start with, a paragraph. You start with a paragraph.
Just paragraph.
And you build on it. If you're long-winded, start long-winded.
Yeah.
And then you pare it down. I would say the thing you want to do is make sure you're covering your bases, so that if I look at your proposal, I'm like, oh, this is totally clear what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, why they're doing it. So just start with start where you are, and if you're long-winded, go long-winded.
Can I ask?
And then give your grant a haircut, because you're going to be getting lots of opportunities to contract and expand through this process. You're writing, so if it's starting small is your small sweet steps with like a couple paragraphs will make this manageable for you. Start there.
And then as far as you were mentioning about a program that you did, or a project that you did about a community event. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what you did?
Sure. So it was a proposal that I wrote that was asking for funds to. I didn't get the grant. I did reapply, and I made some changes. It was a proposal that I wrote where I was asking for funds to do a series of programs and talks led by Black identified folks, and to just talk about their experience being here. And I went like super expansive, and it was going to be about a tree and, lesson learned. I leaned in, I listened to their feedback multiple times, and I rewrote the grant and with a lot more clarity. And I'm more than happy to share it with you. If you send me an email, I'd be more than happy to have a longer conversation. But what I wrote in detail for this particular exercise is in that sample, so you'll have a chance to go look at that. And a really good thing for all three of those samples is when you're reading it, think to yourself, like, if any questions come up, like, well, that's great that she was doing this program with the day laborers, but I have a question about A, or I have a question about B. And just see what you're seeing. You don't have to do anything with that knowledge. It's just getting your brain used to thinking like a grant writer. So Arturo,
yes,
if we can go to the independent study assignments, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
So congratulations, y'all. We're coming to the close of our orientation. We're gonna go do a little close out with some words from each of you, but I want to give you a sense of your independent study assignments. We're going to have you writing your project summary, and then we're going to also be sending you a link if you're not sure how to use Google Classroom and Google Drive. And if you need any support, you can also reach out to our tutor and I in navigating the classroom in Google Drive. We're going to give you a couple of other videos, and even though we do not have the current guidelines, we have the general guidelines for the grant. And so you want to just start thinking about like what it is they're asking for. And with that said, I am going to pass this over to Arturo so that we can be sure to get out of here by 8:30.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay. You mentioned, you touched upon something very important, Therese, and this is really, really important for you guys to note. The guidelines for the current grant of this year are not out yet, right? We have been learning through working with the California Arts Council that you know, they have their times. They have their times. However, we're taking as a baseline the guidelines from last year. So it is possible that they will change, but not a lot, right? And ultimately, what we want to get from this time together is that you learn exactly how to write any grant, so that whatever change they do, you can just adjust the narrative that you created to fit better into whatever questions they put forward. That's important for you to know, because I'm pretty sure that in the course of our training, the guidelines will be released, but because of all of all of the logistics of doing this, creating this space, we couldn't wait for them to release the grants and then create the cohort. Anyway, so the final things, it's important to note, we had a tool that we didn't touch upon today due to time. We're gonna invite you to come in. I hope that we don't have the same hiccups with technology than we did for our next session, so that we can start on time and we can really make the most out of our time. In the meantime, I just want to invite you to share a little bit. What is something that you're keeping with yourself about today? What is something that you feel grateful for about this space, or something that somebody said? What is something that you're taking with yourself tonight? Therese?
I'm just grateful for the abundance of compassion and accessibility that people are bringing with their own collective wisdom. So I'm really excited about just the compassion that you're adding to the space and the collective wisdom that you're going to be adding. Because Arturo and I are the container, and y'all are the spice. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Got it.
And Arturo, if we could take a group picture, that would be great. Like the aura would be perfect.
Yeah, would you mind coming into the camera, guys, for a second? Ha ha ha, muy bien, muy bien. Okay, big smiles, big smiles. 3, 2, 1. Yes, amazing.
Thank you. I like to document. If any of you remember each session, it's at the end, it's going to be nice to have these pictures. So if you think about it, please encourage us to have one hand moment. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, the floor is open. Go for it. But you're muted, bro. T.
Sorry about that. No, yeah, I just want to say that I am looking forward to just really using the space to really check myself, figure out where I can grow, and allow that growth to also hopefully encourage the rest of us here to grow. And I'm just super excited that not only is there people within the diaspora of common values, common goals, but also, holy crap, there's someone from Nika here too, and like that's amazing. And like just finding like common brethren and cultural, ancestry and all that stuff. I know it's sometimes cases trivial, but it's important to someone like me. And that creates a safe space for me to really be honest, upfront, and direct with that. And I am excited for hopefully others to feel that way in this space too, and for us to really empower each other to just really find what we want, for each other and through each other. I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. No, that was perfect. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
I can go. I feel like I'm in ways a very budding organizer and really stepping into this role after like not seriously pursuing it for a long time and really treating it like a hobby when I really think it could be much more. So I'm just grateful for the abundance of wisdom and knowledge that I've been met with in this short Zoom call already.
Thank you, Desma. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, there's an important element here to hold each other with compassion, right? Not always are we going to be dropping, massive wisdom, knowledge. Sometimes we might be wrong in what we're saying, like, we have wrong data or something. But it's always important to know that in this space, our peers are holding us with compassion. So all is well, all is well. We have time for like a few more.
I'll jump in. I'm super excited. Like, it's weird because I'm just like, I don't know, like I felt like I need to be pushing myself a whole lot more further. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have like these ideas, but just putting them down to paper, I just always lack. And I think that this project might actually help me out to actually put those ideas down to paper. So I'm really happy to meet everybody here, because I feel like even just setting up a buddy, and then having a mentor, and having all these pieces to come in to have people to hold you accountable to what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just achieve my goal. And right now I'm in this process of trying to like write down my ideas and just trying to formulate them, because I'm just like, I want to do everything all at once, right? Like, I want to do this and I want to do that, and then I'm just like, all right, I got to figure out how I can make this and figure it out, because I think that's where I'm at right now. I just need to kind of get it all together, but I'm happy that I'm doing it, because it's happening.
Absolutely, Jesse.
But I just want to say, right on, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. The only way to get a grant is by first writing the grant.
Yes, and to piggyback off of that, I'm gonna take away what you said in the beginning, Arturo. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna say I'm gonna do, and that's a lot. So yeah, just gonna try and be committed to myself. And now there's all these people who I'm accountable to, which is great, because I just work better that way. So thank you for holding this space, everyone. And yeah, I'm gonna just show up for myself and my ideas.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Tonga had to leave, but she's very excited. Diana?
What I'm taking from today, first of all, was all the beautiful quotes that people were dropping here in their introductions and their moments of speaking. And then also what I'm taking is all this awakened dreams of everybody, because everybody's dreaming about being awake right now and working on their projects, and that's truly inspiring, because it's like feeds to that itch that I so I was like moving forward on all of these projects. Thank you.
Thank you. So you're speaking quiet, huh? Anyone else? Last person?
I just want to throw my gratitude in for the energy that's here. My work is either with a bunch of strangers that I only talk to for like 2 minutes and I do not get to know them, or it's like completely by myself. So I'm really excited to actually be in collaboration with fellow artists. It's not an opportunity I have been cultivating, and I'm really excited about being able to do that. And to whomever said entrepreneur, that just like changed my life. So thanks for throwing that in there. And I'm really looking forward to more of those like insight, collective wisdom moments.
Thank you, Sylvie. Yes, that's exactly right. We're all just, you know, sharing freely. That's really the magic here. And is anybody, Therese, you have something?
Yeah, so I'm a dreamer, schemer, midnight weaver, and I heard some amazing thoughts started in the group. Like I heard band from Nefertiti. I heard Let's Skate from some other folks, and I also heard album or comida, Mexican food.
Yeah, somebody said comida. Yeah, somebody said cooking.
So I would say like we're gonna end it here, but like maybe let's get some conversations going in the chat about like, you know, connecting so that we can maybe have that album happen, that band happen, that skate meet happen. So I propose we take these last 5 minutes, just listen to some tunes and connect in the chat.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, so much for your time, for your energy. We're gonna meet next week again, 6 p.m., not 9 p.m. I don't know what happened with the calendar.
No time.
Yeah, 6 p.m. If you want, we're gonna be chilling here 10-15 minutes before, if you want to just come and hang out and like not feel rushed or pressure, or just, you know, ideally we would be in the same space and we'll be able to hug each other and to, you know, march together. But for right now, this is the space that we have. And thank you really for all of your contributions. Radu,
I had a quick question. Do you guys ever do like a end of cohort party? You guys ever just get together? We all kind of, you know, hawk our wares and we all perform and I don't know, rent out a space or something and just
it's funny
have a little throwdown. Sorry?
It's funny you say that we have something coming up in April. Arturo, you want to talk about that real quick?
April 2. Oh yeah. Okay, so well, might as well just give you guys the plug right now. So we're gonna make the first in-person Arts Collab meeting gathering in the context of MAP, in the context of the Mission Arts and Performance Project. The people who live in San Francisco know that MAP is one of the most, like you said, it's kind of like an underground thing that has been happening for the last 18 years, and it's held by community. So we're envisioning to just have you in the space and just connect with each other and you know, just introduce ourselves, hold space for each other, probably doing some bending because that's part of what we're trying to push, right? So it's April 2nd. Write it down at noon, because why not? It's a Saturday. And yeah. It's really going to be a pleasure and a privilege to be in there with you. And with that, I think we're just gonna play some music for the next 3 minutes. Feel free to disconnect whenever you are ready. Oh, this is not what I meant to do. Oh, you know
froze, Arturo.
Huh? Say
God
again?
bless Zoom. You froze. You were like Roger.
Opa. Okay, well, I'm gonna play some music. I'm gonna play you first